everyone, it's Megan. I wanted to share with you my thoughts and my reviews so far on the DREO wall-mounted space heater. We've installed 5 of these units the past couple days here in our Vermont cabin, and I wanted to share my thoughts because I researched this unit among other options for several weeks, and I'll tell you in just a sec what the goal was for us with these units. And I really like them so far, and so I wanted to share with them share them with you all, because I wish that when I was researching it for myself that I had come across a video like this, so maybe it'll help you. So as I said, we have a Airbnb rental cabin here in Vermont, in southern Vermont. More information in the description if you're curious, but we came across this issue where since this house was built by my grandparents in the 70s, late 70s, there's only been wood stove heat, which is not really a safe option when you're talking about guests and renters and new people who often don't have the knowledge to safely operate a wood stove. I myself have been around this wood stove for years growing up. I still feel like I didn't master using it until like 2 years ago because it's the kind of thing where if you don't have one, you just, the chances of you getting enough practice with it to really feel confident and safe operating it are slim. So we had this issue, where we're getting into cooler weather in the fall as we approach fall, and we needed a way to heat the house and really just take the chill off. But what's cool about these heaters is I think they can even do much more than taking out the chill. So I want to flip the camera around and we'll take a look at these heaters. So this is one of the units. This is the one in our kitchen dining room area. And we have 3 in the first floor, another is in the living room, and then the third is in the first floor master bedroom. We decided against putting one in the bathroom. And then we have 2, one in each room upstairs. But right now it's in eco mode, as you can see. This is an electric space heater, essentially, that's wall mounted. With our electrician, we installed each unit on its own circuit. It's a 15 amp circuit. So as you can see, I have a do not unplug label, and then a little information about safety. But basically, we're looking for something that could be controlled remotely because I live in Connecticut, 2 hours away from this cabin in Vermont. I come up here lately fairly often to check in the house, make improvements, etc. But it's a 4-hour round trip for me unless I stay. So we needed a solution that would be safe yet remotely controlled, something where we'd be able to kind of have limits where we weren't having guests put the heat up to say 85, 86 or something, and then maybe leave it on all day by accident. We wanted to really avoid issues like that because of course electric heating can be expensive, and so although it's a very convenient solution, it can be expensive unless we use a certain approach. So what I've done and what's cool about these units is that you can operate the child lock remotely, turning it on and off. You can turn the beep volume on and off. There's 3 general heating modes: heat 1, which is 900 watts, heat 2, which I believe is 1300, and heat 3, which I think is 1500 watts. And eco mode, though, you can set a target temperature ranging between 41 degrees and I believe 95 degrees, so pretty wide range. And once it reaches its target temperature, it'll just turn off the heating element again, and kind of just wait around for the temperature to dip back down, and it'll go back on to maintain that temperature. So awesome, beautiful. You can turn it on and off remotely, of course. I'm gonna also just put some screenshots of some things that you can control, and I'm happy to do an app walkthrough as well. But it's it really, I feel like, has everything that's going to meet our needs. So if I'm here operating it, you can use these buttons. Each unit also comes with its own little remote control, handheld, but it can also link up with the app and be controlled fully remotely. So some questions I had when we were getting started was like, can I really, do the child lock remotely from Connecticut? Yes, I can, because it's essentially a Wi-Fi connection. Am I going to be able to, set limits and, ensure that we're keeping it energy efficient? Yes. There's schedules, there's eco mode, there's just a lot of excellent safeguards. You can also control things, even like the angle of the fan, the little fan fin there at the bottom. You can control something as simple as that from the app. This unit can also operate as fan only, so it's just blowing and circulating the room temperature air. There's lots of just handy, great features, and I'll try to get more into them when I do the app walkthrough. But so far, I'm loving this. This is our unit in the living room, and it's actually blowing out some air right now. So as you can see, it's on its own single plug. And this one is currently oscillating. So you can see the fan there at the bottom, moving up and down to kind of spread that heated air. And these are convection heaters, really just throughout the room. You can see that it's in eco mode right now. And I also have the child lock currently going because you can see it's blinking that little lock symbol to indicate the child lock. I have that going because, again, I just want to control these completely from the app. What's also cool about the app is you can turn the display off unless, someone's touching it, in which case, they won't be able to control the settings, but it'll at least tell them what the room temperature, is set to. So here's our living room one. Again, I love all of this so far so much. Okay, so here we have the one in our master bedroom as well. It's currently, I think, just set to one fan angle, so it's not oscillating. But these are just such quiet units. They're so in the background, you don't even think about them. They just gently blow this wonderfully cozy air all around the room. So I just really love these. Let's go take a quick look at the ones upstairs. Another pro tip, by the way, is to put a thermal curtain across stairwell doors to just kind of prevent heat loss. Oh, I'm in the dark now, hold on. To just kind of prevent heat loss from the main area, if you want to kind of confine it to one area. Okay. This is our unit in the upstairs bigger green room, and again, it's currently just off, so it's not even in eco mode because I'm just not using them at all right now. But I can easily switch it on, off, do all kinds of things with the app, and I just can't stress enough how much I feel like it's just the perfect solution for what our needs were, which is to basically heat the house just enough through the fall to take the chill off, allow it to be comfortable, but we're not going to be relying on these for the winter, because in winter we won't be renting. The driveway that we have here is just too crazy to plow, and it'll really just be for family access only. And so family, of course, we know how to use the wood stove, so we're going to use the wood stove heat in the colder true winter months, if and when family are even coming up here. Personally, I think it's such a hassle to come up here in the true winter because it is so cold. I came up here once when it was negative 13 degrees. It was, I'll say, memorable, but pretty much also intolerable for me as someone who gets cold easily and has a tough time warming up. But anywho, I digress. Point is, I'll be skipping that that season of the year. I'm also not a big skier, so for me coming up in the winter, kind of irrelevant for me. But I absolutely love it here. Every other season, mud season, spring, summer, fall, it is gorgeous. And now that we have these handy heaters, it's just going to be that much more comfortable on those nights when it does happen to get really low temperature wise. The other thing is, with this property, there are so many little brooks and streams running across this property that literally the heat of the, around the house is lowered by a couple of degrees because we're so close to this source of running water that it naturally cools the whole area. So it's even colder here than it is in the forecast all the time, pretty much. And this will just make it much more comfortable. Okay, we're in the blue, smaller room right now. And this time I'm going to take a seat and show you some of the features. So we have this little sticker here, caution, do not touch this outlet fan. So you don't want to mess with this because it is so, I don't know, delicately controlled. I don't know if it is delicate, but it does look it, so don't want to mess with that. But I also just love the look of this thing. I think it's modern, it's cool, I really like it. So currently it's in child lock mode. I'm gonna undo that by pressing, hold on, there we go. You gotta press the plus and the minus at the same time for 3 seconds. And as you can see, it gives you that countdown. So now I can control it. So now the little deadbolt icon has gone away. I'm just gonna lower the temperature. I think it's target before it was 80 because I was testing it, but I'm just gonna bring it to like 65 just to show that. And as you can see, I also have it set so that the display turns itself off unless it, is being fiddled with, because I just didn't want someone to be here in the dark, just distracted by another screen. So I want that to be off most of the time. You can press this button here for the fan angle. You can also hold it down for 5 seconds for Wi-Fi. So I'm just gonna adjust the fan. And you can see this little icon right there indicates where the fan's pointing. So it's pointing down, and the fin is pointing down right there. If I change that, I'm just going to adjust my focus. If I change that, it's going to move to the middle. And the fan angle just moved to the middle. If I switch it again, it's up now, and it moved up. So you can change it, or you can make it go oscillating, pressing it again. Now we have all 3 selected there, and it's just going to oscillate. So that's a bit about the fan. Over here you have schedules. Now, I don't know if I want to mess with this on the unit. Just see what happens. Okay, so if you press this clock, it's actually, I don't think it's a schedule, I think it's a timer. So if you press this, you can say, okay, I want this to turn off in 1 hour, in 2 hours, in 3 hours. It goes all the way up to 24 hours. And then it'll go back to 0. And this is just a timer if you're running it, for that amount of time. So I'm just gonna leave that at 0. So over here, this is the button probably just for the different settings, different modes, I think. I see, so if you press this, it goes either to fan mode, you see that? So by pressing this little menu button, you're switching between modes. So here we're in fan mode. I'm gonna switch to heat, but I want it actually in eco mode. I think eco mode is the coolest. And then of course on the left you just have the off button. So I'm just going to turn this off. Now when you do turn it off, it'll count down for a count of 30 before it closes the fin and everything. That's pretty much it. One more tidbit is that when you go to mount this, it comes with a super handy cardboard mounting guide that has its own little level included. You mount it by kind of like the same way you'd hang maybe like a cork board or something, where you basically put screws aligned properly in the back. And if you're putting them into drywall, you want those screws to go into some wall anchors unless they're going to go into a stud through the drywall. And then you just line up the little hooks in the back of the unit. You lay them over the screws and kind of push down so it's a bit secure. And then at the bottom, you apply a couple more screws to kind of place those little bottom legs on the unit, and that really secures it properly to the wall. When you have it only in the top two screws, the unit is kind of just hanging by those top two screws. When you add in the little feet with the screws at the bottom, you're really stabilizing it now on the wall. So you want to get them all taken care of. Okay, we're going to take a video of the DREO app for using the wall-mounted space heater. Now, as you can see, we have 5 of these units: living room, kitchen, master bedroom, green room, and the blue room. And they're in our Vermont cabin. And here's kind of a little, just quick guide for how to use the app. If you scroll down a little bit, you can look at the power and the mode. So I'm going to tap on that. Here you can literally just turn it off, turn it back on. You can switch from heat to fan only, so it's just running the air in the room, back to heat. Everything, by the way, is so responsive, at least with my Wi-Fi connection. It's beautiful. You can change the heat setting from just heat 1 at 900 watts to heat 2 at 1300 and heat 3 at 1500, or eco mode. I love eco mode, and like I said, this is instantly responsive from when you do it in the app to the unit on the wall. I'm going to actually bring down this temperature because I'm going to go to sleep soon. I'm going to bring it down to 62 degrees. If you keep scrolling down, and you can see the target temperature has now been reached because it's already at 71, so that's going to turn itself off in just a minute. If you go down, you can see the different fan angles. I have it currently in oscillating, but you can set it to either pointing down, pointing forward, or pointing up, or oscillating. Now you also can turn the display on the unit itself onto auto, where it's kind of responding to the light in the room and the activity, or on or off. I just like to have them off, that way it's not distracting when you look at it. You also can turn the panel on or off in terms of its sound. You can turn this child lock on, which it is now, or off, and I like to keep it back on. You can also do open window detection. So I haven't tested this because I don't really want to lose heat right now in the house. I want to keep it. But from what I understand, if it's enabled, if there's a rapid decline in temperature while the device is running, indicating like, oh, a window opened and all the heat just went out, this should notify you, so you can close the window, close the door. The ambient temperature always being on, I have that enabled so that if someone brushes up against the unit or tries to touch it, it'll just kind of say where the temperature is aiming for, where it's going. The device temp unit, I have Fahrenheit, and then the ambient temp calibration. This means that you can adjust where the temp is calibrated on the unit in case it's off at all. So that's pretty much a quick rundown of that area. And that's if you hit like this mode and power button right there. If you look at the ambient temp, that just tells you if it's in a comfortable or a cold range or a hot range. Here you can go to schedules and you can add schedules. You can do it for a timer, or you can do it for a period of time. Earlier today I was testing this. I literally set it for 5 minutes and I just sat there and watched it work. So it works. You can start the start and end times right there. Then you can have it repeat once, or on weekdays or weekends, or just custom. I'm going to end up doing custom probably, and I'm going to probably select it to run Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, usually the weekends for our guests, or if our cleaners are coming for a day or so. Which, by the way, we just recently hired some cleaners. I'm so excited to work with them. Cleaning is such a cool job, and it's so needed, especially for this type of endeavor, because we want to provide a beautiful, clean space for our guests, and it's so, so important. So I'm really excited to work with them, and I hope everything goes well. Over here, we can go to settings, and here you can label what you want the name of each unit to be. This one's in your kitchen, and it's in the kitchen room right here. You can share the device, apparently. That's kind of cool. No users have been granted. Okay, so I could probably add people to this. And I need to go back up. Okay, so that's cool. You can share the device. I haven't tried that yet, but good to know. Wi-Fi info, you want to make sure that you're logged in. And it does need, I think, a 2.4 gigahertz. I believe that's the kind of Wi-Fi wavelength, so to speak. It's like the slower one that these need to connect to. Firmware version, here it'll do updates and suggest updates for you. Usually takes like 2 minutes, and that's great. You want to probably be using the most up-to-date stuff. I love this, the user manual. So you can access your user manual anytime. We have the bottom one, the wall-mounted heaters with safety plugs. These are all 5 of our units. They look like that. But this is so cool. You can access, this literally is the same thing as the piece of paper that we got in the box. So this is awesome because now I don't need to keep track of that piece of paper. I can just reference it on the go whenever I need to, which is perfect. I can also pair these with Alexas or Google Assistant. Personally, I just don't like that, so I'm not going to do that. I just like to control it with handheld. So that's pretty much it. I love this little peek of the app. Also, if you go to the top right plus icon here, it will try and add devices by DREO if your Bluetooth is turned on. But I don't have any to add, so I'm going to skip that. But that's how I got these units all added in here. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Okay everyone, so please leave me your questions or your comments about these units down below in the comment section. I promise to answer every single one of them to the best of my knowledge. By the way, DREO customer support is also pretty responsive. I've emailed them twice now with different questions, and they get back to you within like 24 hours. So that's cool too. But let me know, you guys, have you tried out these units? What are your thoughts on them? Do you like them? Are you, looking to, satisfy the same type of goal that we are with like a rental that's, far away from you, it's remote? Because that's really what our biggest need was, kind of all wrapped into that. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day or night whenever you watch this. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. This is such a random video. Let me know if you guys want more videos like this, because I enjoy making it and it's super easy for me to make. I can just flip my camera right on and start filming. All right, bye for now. I'll see you next time.